I do not want to call anyone a liar, but from my experience of Johnny, it is impossible to believe that such horrific allegations are true.
Coming at number 10, Paul Bettany. Next month, a lot of high-profile celebrities are going to be giving testimony in a US courtroom over the multi-million-dollar lawsuit between Johnny Depp and his ex-wife Amber Heard. For Paul Bettany, though, this whole ordeal has been quite the nightmare. Back in 2020, his private text messages with Johnny Depp about Amber were made public as evidence in the actor's libel case against the Sun newspaper. Paul said that the texts being revealed were embarrassing and that he didn't know Johnny when he was married to Amber. He only knew him before. In a 2016 Twitter post, Bettany had defended Depp and said, "Known Johnny Depp for years and through several relationships, he's the sweetest, kindest, gentlest man that I've ever known, just saying." But before we jump into our next point, make sure you tap that like button to show some love to the channel. And at number 9, Penelope Cruz. Another big celebrity that had spoken out in defense of Johnny Depp was Penelope Cruz. In her statement, she said, "I've always been impressed by his kindness, his brilliant mind, his talent, and his peculiar sense of humor. I've seen Johnny in so many situations and he is always kind to everyone around. He's one of the most generous people I know. During 6 months of my first pregnancy, I spent every single day with him while we shot Pirates of the Caribbean. My husband and I will never forget the sweetness, protection, and kindness he treated me with during every single step of that process. We love him very much and I feel lucky to have someone so special in our lives." This is a great example of his character, and so Penelope could be someone that Johnny's defense wants to call on to testify against Amber Heard. Speaking of Penelope's husband, in at number 8, Javier Bardem. In a separate statement from his wife in March of 2020, Javier also showed his support for Depp amid his defamation lawsuit against Amber Heard. The two actors had previously worked together in the 2000 film called Before Night Falls, and again in 2017's Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales. In his statement about Johnny, he said, "I stand by Johnny because I have always seen and felt a true caring and loving man in him, an extraordinary and unique artist who has listened to anyone who needed his help. I not only love Johnny but respect him deeply, and I thank him for being the free and careless little boy he is in his art and the mature and loving man he is in the lives of others. Always there when we need him. I love Johnny because he is a good human being, trapped in the lies and manipulations of toxic beings, and yet smiling and loving us all in spite of it. How? Through his music, through his acting, through his silence. This means a lot. Thank you, Johnny. Millions of others like me love you deeply." In at number 7, Sia. The likelihood of Sia showing up to court is, well, not likely. But in a case like this, I mean, who knows? I don't think that Paul Bettany was prepared for a bunch of lawyers to be digging through 10 years of his text messages and emails, but it happened. And the musician gave her take on the situation and came to the defense of Depp. In the tweet, she said, "Just showing my public support for Johnny Depp. I mean, I'd loved him to get clean and stop with the jewelry, but he is clearly the victim after hearing those tapes." In at number 6, Winona Ryder. In a hearing that was done remotely, lawyers for Depp argued that statements from Winona Ryder and Vanessa Paradis be included as evidence in the actor's case against the Sun. They are a testament to Johnny Depp's character and long-standing references for how non-violent he really is. Ryder was engaged to the actor for 3 years beginning in July 1990. She first met him at the Great Balls of Fire premiere in June of 1989, and they began dating 2 months later when she was 17 and he was 26. In her statement to the courtroom, Winona said, "I understand that it is very important that I speak from my own experience, as I obviously was not there during his marriage to Amber, but from my experience, which was so wildly different, I was absolutely shocked, confused, and upset when I heard the accusations against him. The idea that he is an incredibly violent person is the farthest thing from the Johnny I knew and loved. I cannot wrap my head around these accusations. He has never been violent or abusive towards anybody I have seen. I truly and honestly know him as a really good man, an incredibly loving, extremely caring guy who was so very protective of me and the people that he loves, and I felt so very, very safe with him." In at number 5, Vanessa Paradis. Vanessa is another person that we could potentially see testifying against Amber Heard. The French singer is Johnny's ex-wife and mother of 2 of his children. Despite separating in 2012, they still remain very close as co-parents. In her statement to the court, Vanessa said, "I have known Johnny Depp for more than 25 years. We've been partners for 14 years, and we raised our 2 children together. Through all these years, I've known Johnny to be a kind, attentive, generous, and non-violent person and father. I am aware of the allegations which Amber Heard has publicly accused Johnny of for more than 4 years now. This is nothing like the true Johnny I have known, and from my personal experience of many years, I can say he was never violent or abusive to me." And at number 4, Kevin McNally. Johnny Depp's Pirates of the Caribbean co-star Kevin McNally also spoke up in defense of Depp in the past and could be another person that we see testifying against Amber. Back when it was only rumored that Johnny would be losing his role as Jack Sparrow in the franchise, the actor said, "My dream is that some sort of link will be needed between what has been before and whatever bizarre incarnation of it there is to come. But I sincerely think that my fate is so tied in with Johnny that I will go with him if indeed he does go. To be there when somebody creates a modern legend is absolutely extraordinary. For anyone to want to throw that away seems to me criminal." And that, my friends, is just how big of an impact that Depp has made on people. Kevin is not only loyal to Johnny, but still is in awe of being able to watch him create the legendary character of Captain Jack Sparrow. In at number 3, David Yates. David Yates is the director of Fantastic Beasts, and even he could not keep a tight lip on how great Johnny Johnny Depp is. Even in the face of the allegations that were coming out, he still said of Depp, honestly, there's an issue at the moment where there's a lot of people being accused of things. They're being accused by multiple victims, and it's compelling and frightening. With Johnny, it seems to me there was one person who took a pop at him and claimed something. I can only tell you about the man I see every day. He's full of decency and kindness, and that's all I see. Whatever accusation was out there doesn't tally with the kind of human being I've been working with. And at number 2, J.K. Rowling. Johnny Depp being cast as the Dark Wizard Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts franchise surprisingly angered a lot of fans. Although Rowling couldn't care less and stated that she had no problem with casting Depp. On her website, she spoke more about the decision and said, "For me personally, the inability to speak openly to fans about this issue has been difficult, frustrating, and at times painful. However, the agreements that have been put in place to protect the privacy of two people, both of whom have expressed a desire to get on with their lives, must be respected. Based on our understanding of the circumstances, the filmmakers and I are not only comfortable sticking with our original casting, but genuinely happy to have Johnny playing a major character in the movies." And coming in at our number 1 spot, Johnny Depp. This one is obvious, but Depp certainly should be included on this list at least. He is the main person testifying against Amber Heard, and we'll just have to wait and see if what he says is enough, because he has already gone over much of the situation in his libel case against the Sun. So Depp will have a lot to go off of. For example, he could personally speak on the couple's history of addiction. Another piece of this story that often gets overlooked is the history of addiction that certainly played a role in this messy divorce. Depp has acknowledged many times that he has tried to kick habits of heavy drug use during the period of his marriage, but added that he sometimes had lapsed. Amber, though, was not some drug-free saint that could just help him through this. In fact, one could argue that her addiction habits only helped fuel their toxic relationship. During one courtroom hearing, Depp claimed that Heard had chopped out lines for him before rubbing some onto her own gums. Depp's lawyer also noted that Heard experienced anxiety, insecurity, and jealousy that would manifest itself in severe outbursts of anger and rage. When Sasha Wass said that Amber would often have 2 or 3 glasses of wine during an evening, Depp fired back with 2 or 3 bottles. Plus, I'm sure there is a lot more to this case that we have not heard yet, and either way, that will come up in trial. That's been today's list, though. If I missed anyone, make sure you leave us a comment down below. And while you do that, I'm going to check out some of your comments from the video titled Britney Spears Shades Pete Davidson and Scott Disick. Jay Foster says, "Makes sense, the Kardashians were just the help when Britney was super famous." Just the help is hilarious. Kardashians, just the help. Justin Graves says, the bliss of not knowing who Kanye is. True, absolute bliss. I wonder what that's like. Lady Goose Carolyn says, "I didn't know I could love Britney more, but her not knowing about the Kardashian drama makes me want to marry her. I absolutely love this. You should go for it." Iris Webb says, "Not knowing who these guys are is a blessing." I would have to agree. That's all the time that we have for today though, folks, so stay classy, and I'll see you on the next one.